We're back with another edition of the Off the Bench Spotlight Series presented by Nuga Splash. And got father-son in the house. And speaking of football, we're going to talk football. We're going to talk basketball. We'll talk a little bit of everything. We've Coach Tyrus Ward. We got to start with you, Coach Tyrus Ward, and his son Kohl. Kohl's going to be a junior at Tyner, and I believe it's the point guard for the state tournament team, the Tyner Rams, this year. So, guys, welcome in, and appreciate the time. How are we doing tonight?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having us.
Now, first things first, normally we have Justin Sims in here, but he's on assignment otherwise professionally, and did not know this until Sims joined the Red Zone, Joe, but Coach Ward actually, crossed paths with Justin Sims before we did. So kind of tell us about that, because I'm sure you have some pretty good stories about him as far as you probably could have warned us about how crazy he is for sure.
Yeah, I met Sims we was working at UPS, a preload shift, like 2:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock, that shift where you're unloading trucks and loading trucks. So, he was across the belt from me, and when you're working with somebody for about 5 years, you tend to have a lot of stories to tell. But he was just a funny guy, just, as we would do our job and go about our business, we would always talk about Tennessee football, talk about, at the time I was coaching high school, and he would keep up with me at the high school level, and I would keep up, what was going on with the Tennessee Vols and just what was going on at UPS. So he was just a very funny guy. Just, was always had a joke or two up his sleeve. Sometimes it was intentional, sometimes it was by default. But he was a guy. He was a nice person to work with.
Now that's the PC answer.
Now he was. I can't remember any like funny stories. I think we went to an Alabama game with him at one point. Him and a guy by the name of Mario Jefferson. His son now is at Tennessee now. So we went there, and he screamed at the game the entire time. Like it was pretty bad. But that's probably one of the coolest memories I have with him.
Since he's not here to defend himself, I'll kind of piggyback off that. Justin and his family, big Tennessee fans, big, season ticket holders for the Volunteers, and where he parked, between, I think it was the G10 or G5 lot, because you look down, it's the roadway between there and Thompson Bowling Arena across the way there, and that's where the visiting band would park the buses. Well, after a Georgia game, I don't think it was this one, Coach Ward, but the Georgia Redcoat Marching Band was going back to the buses, and the song "Go Georgia Bulldogs." Well, he was chanting at the Redcoat Band, "Go back to Georgia." They weren't too thrilled about that for sure. So yeah, that's good stuff for sure. And he joined the Red Zone, and I'm sure the look on your face when you saw him. I think it was probably a Brainerd Red Bank game we were at, and you're just like, "Why are you doing here?" But obviously, summertime is busy for you, and for people that don't know, you're an assistant for Coach Rusty Wright in the Chattanooga Mocs, and they were at Southern Conference Media Days. The coaches picking the Mocs to finish number 2 in the Southern Conference. So how's the off season been for you guys? And it won't be long before things get going against Memphis on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, we started spring ball pretty early. I think we started the Monday before signing day in February. So we done a good job with that, getting those guys coming in, getting them acclimated and to what we do. Rusty does a good job of laying out a schedule in the off season to make sure those guys get enough rest, get enough recovery, get enough work in to see exactly what we need going into fall camp. We're excited about fall camp. Like every other college here in the nation. This will be the first time you coach this team, play with this team. So there's a lot of unknowns, on both sides of the balls in the kicking game. But we're excited. We have a plan, and we want to stick to it and be ready to roll out there against Memphis with, the Chattanooga Mocs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, Kohl, you just finished up your sophomore year at Tyner, and not only did you made a couple of appearances in Murfreesboro, right? The state tournament for the basketball team, and over at Spring Fling, state champion in the house here. So I guess talk about your busy year and kind of what you've been up to during the summer months before the school year gets started.
Yeah, so our basketball team, we took it all the way to the state tournament. We lost, unfortunately, to Loretto in the semifinals. But immediately after that, it was track season. So I think I had like maybe a week break between like basketball and track school. So just getting back in track mode. I had a good track year. Went up to the state. I participated in like 5 events. I did the decathlon the week previously, and then when I went to the actual, where all the schools go to the actual state meet, I participated in the 300 hurdles, 110 hurdles, triple jump, and the 4x1. I won the state in triple jump, and it was a great experience. We ended up finishing second as a team at the state meet. It was fun being around those guys, enjoying that moment and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great sophomore year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I think it was the first triple jump state champ in school history for Tyner. I think it was a leap of 44 feet 4 inches. So kind of, I guess personally for you, you're not even a junior yet in doing all this. So what does that mean to you to kind of add your name to the list of pretty good athletic excellence over there at Tyner this year?
Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard I was the only triple jump champion at Tyner history. It means a lot. Track hasn't always been like the primary sport, so just to achieve something that great in a sport that I haven't really worked on all my life. But I still work at it, but it hasn't been like the first thing, right? So just doing something like that in that matter in that big of a situation, it means a lot. It feels good.
So that was your first year doing the triple jump?
No. Oh, it was my second. I'm like, basketball has always been my my main sport. Track has just always been a thing I just used to keep in shape, have fun with the guys and stuff like that. So yeah.
And coaches, have you always been one of those guys, one of those parents that always encourage, play as many sports as you can, because in the end it's going to help you no matter what?
Yeah, I've always had, the mindset of never put all your eggs in one basket, and I think, when you have a main sport and you play a lot of sports and you're into a lot of things, it kind of gives you a relief from those other sports, and you don't get, drained out and just in one. And I think, the skills and the discipline and all of the things that you learn in all those other sports can help you in your main sport. So, yeah, I've always been the parent, and I've done the exact same thing as a child, and I was always into all the sports. So I wanted to make sure that he did all of them, and then we'll see what sticks, and we'll go from there.
At Brainerd, I think, like you said, you ran track, you played basketball and football for the Panthers there, and ran the 300-meter hurdles. I think state champ there. So not saying you're past your prime, coach, but. One-on-one, head-on-head, who would win in the hurdles right here between you two, you think?
I probably win in the hurdles. He'll get me in all of the jumps.
You shaking your head? Yes, Kohl. Do you agree?
But before it's all said and done, his times as a sophomore were probably a little better than mine as a sophomore in the hurdles. So, I have to go back on that and probably say, as a sophomore, he's probably a tad bit faster than I was in the hurdles.
Look out, Chattanooga and the rest of the state of Tennessee.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So was there any desire to ever play football? Because your dad here played football, basketball, and ran track. You're really missing the football out of that aspect there. You ever thought about playing football, or are you just sticking to basketball and track?
Yeah, I played my last year of middle school. I played all Little League. It's been brought to my attention, people around school, people around town, they like, talk about your dad all the time, this great football player and all that, and they like, you'll probably just naturally be good at it just because of how good your dad is and how athletic you are and stuff. But it's crossed my mind. It's never too late. I might try to go out there my senior year, but it's up in the air.
I'm sure Coach Christian Maynard will probably take him for sure, being a state champ in the hurdles right there.
I think there could be a spot on the roster for you.
I think so.
You decided to take it up for sure.
No doubt about that. So, it runs in the family over at Tyner, Joe, because Coach Ward, I think your uncle Kohl is the basketball coach over there. So, Coach, let's ask you, growing up, how intense were the games and the competition level in the Ward household when you were growing up?
They were intense for sure, but he's 5 years younger than me, so it was more like the games would be me like teaching him how to do certain things. Like he was always younger than I was, so naturally I could just beat him. He's 5 years younger than me, but so it was almost like, here's how you do things. Here's how you play with heart. Here's how you play with Hereford. Here's how you shoot. Here's how you dribble. So it was more like a kind of coach-player type relationship, but he was intense. He was always, and then he got to a point where he got really, really good with his handles and his shot. as we got older. So they were definitely intense in terms of like I would make sure that he understood what it took to be good in the sports that he wanted to play.
Any pickup games still going on the driveway or in the street somewhere involving you guys?
We haven't done it in maybe 2 or 3 years, but there's been times where my sister Jamie and my older brother Daryl and EJ and Kohl was probably about in 6th, 7th grade, and my younger brother Jamal, we all get out there and have at it. So my dad still can shoot as well. So, we may need to open that back up Labor Day or something. And,
there you go.
And have a little playoff again.
I like it. Kohl, talk about playing for your uncle and just playing for him and knowing it. If it's family, not just inside the school, but blood as well.
Yeah, me and my uncle have always had a great relationship. Just nephew uncle. When I was younger, I just remember him being so funny and so kind all the time. And then it's kind of trippy that relationship starts to switch a little bit. It starts to become a little bit different when now it's not Uncle EJ anymore. It's Coach Ward. It's Coach EJ. So just I feel like that bond between us is not detrimental, right? So it's like I have this trust for him because I know he has the best interest in me. I know he wants to see me do things, and so it's never hatred, nothing like that. It's never, of course, there's gonna be times where the coach is gonna get on the player. I might do something, and sometimes it may seem like he's on me a little bit harder than he's on to my other teammates. But that's just because it's the relationship between us. It's how far we go back and stuff like that. But I love it. I wouldn't want another high school coach.
Like we were talking about, in the first segment there, you play in multiple sports at Brainerd. You ultimately got an opportunity to go to East Tennessee State, right out of high school, and kind of talk about the process. I guess it's if you look at today's recruiting process to back in the early 2000s, obviously a lot of changes there. But kind of talk about your process, what led you to East Tennessee State, and ultimately circumstances and things going on up there in Johnson City made your way back here to Chattanooga and had a pretty solid end of your career playing for the Mocs.
Yeah. My recruiting process was going really well up until I don't know if you remember, but I fell asleep at the wheel and hit a telephone pole.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, my senior year, and I lost, at least half of the colleges that were recruiting me. So how I ended up at ETSU, Jamie Chadwell, who is now the head coach at Coastal Carolina, just kind of called me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, we like your film. We want you to come up for an official visit and next week." And it happened so fast. I went up and I committed, not knowing that they were still running the option, and I was going to be a receiver. We're just running post routes and wheels, and so. But went up there for 2 years and played with a lot of great talent. Tony Tiller, Gerald Sensenbog. Eric Losey went up there with me as well. Quentin Hale from Tyner went up there as well. So, and of course, they dropped the football program, and so that spring was crazy, and that was the first time of me really seeing college coaches, because we had colleges coming throughout the university every single day, just handpicking guys, wanted to talk to this guy, watch film with this guy, et cetera. So, got a chance to go through the recruiting process again. I was going to follow Paul Hamilton to Elon. He had just got the job at Elon, but I decided to come back home and help take care of my daughter and go to UTC. So played there with Hot Rod, Rodney Allison, Justin Sims, who is now at not Justin Sims, Coach Simpson, who is now at UT Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Watts was my receiver coach, and finished my playing career at UTC.
I think it was 18 games, 2 seasons, 52 catches, 745 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So, what was your favorite moment playing at Finley Stadium for the Blue and Gold? The right Blue and Gold, I should say. At
Finley Stadium, I scored the game-winning touchdown against App State to go up 59-56. So I took about a 3-yard shallow route, about 50 yards to the house, and that's probably my biggest and most fondest memory of Finley Stadium as a player.
That's a very good memory. That's very detailed.
Anytime back in the day, you could bring down App State or Georgia Southern when they were in the Southern Conference. Mm-hmm. That was a big day.
It was a shootout.
Yeah,
it was a shootout. I think it was 59-56. Yep, 59, 56.
Cole, how many times you hear about these stories with Dad?
all the time. I probably done heard about almost every memory he done had back in the day when he was, as a child or growing up, stuff like that.
That's good stuff. So, transitioning to your coaching career, at UTC, I would say, what's your favorite memory so far coaching for the Mocs? But I have one for you. I wasn't in the building for this one. I was in Johnson City for the game last year, covering the game, and the clip was on the Mocs football social channels in the post game celebration with you slapping that garage door saying that blue, that gold, that white too hype. So, I mean, obviously, with you starting your career at ETSU and now here, I've been being a local guy as well. Obviously, a special moment for you and the team keeping the railroad tie in Chattanooga.
Well, that's always it's always a good time. A bittersweet moment. But I'm on the UTC side, and I finished my career there, and I coached there. But yeah, that memory was awesome. I wish we'd done something like that back when I was going here, that blue, that gold, that white. So it's something to keep the momentum going in the locker room with those guys. They enjoy it. It's a way for us to kind of show them that, we're in it as with them as well. But actually my favorite memory there wasn't last year. It was a year that we went up there and we were down and it was raining, had a little mist. That year we battled back, and that was one of the first times where, nothing was going right for us all game, but we just kept our composure. Our guys stayed in it mentally, and we pulled it out. So, last year the beating on the lockers were good, but I think that the year that we went up there and battled through those elements, that's kind of one of my best memories of the ETSU UTC rivalry.
When you were going through the recruiting process as a player back in the day, and what you was looking for, how has that changed for the guys that you're now recruiting and what they're looking for? As obviously you got NIL and things of that nature, but has it changed all that much, or has it changed completely?
It's changed completely. You've thrown the element of money in there, so that changes everything. When you add money to any situation, it heightens it. But that's one of the first questions I ask when I'm recruiting a young man is, what's your story? What do you want out of this? What do you want from this process? Be straightforward, and it's the exact same things. You just add money into it. Some guys want NIL, some guys want to be close to home. Some guys just want to have an opportunity to play. So there's many reasons that kids have had for years, but I think that money element has definitely heightened, situations.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And obviously, too, when we've had coaches in here or players that are coaching now, we've asked about, the biggest changes. And one thing is like just being able to be noticed a lot more, in 2025, because you have, services like Huddle and obviously social media and YouTube stuff. I mean, these guys are getting, more opportunities to be viewed. So what do you think the biggest change for you as far as, I guess, in the recruiting process? Is it, I guess, the digital age, I guess? Or?
Well, everything is at the tip of your thumb now. Back when I was making my high school tape, I had to go to Walmart, get some DVDs, had to go get the DVD with the VCR, and you had to beg the coach, and he's only going to be there on Sunday during the coaches meeting, and get that and go out there and tape it and send it, go, get online and see exactly, the address, get the P.O. box to send to the coach and attention to. So, it was an all-week deal. Now I can just, record my son games and I can have it out there in, 30 minutes after the game. So for everyone who wants to see it or who's following him. So it's made recruiting, very, very accessible. It's at the, like I said, it's at the tip of your thumb. And, these kids should be very, very grateful that they have that platform, to showcase their talents.
And going back to your high school career at Brainerd, decorated athlete across the board, all-city in basketball, All-American in track, Scrappy Moore Male Athlete of the Year in 2000, and obviously, you had a good career on the gridiron as well. Favorite memory from your days as a Brainerd Panther?
As a Brainerd Panther, favorite memory as a Brainerd Panther, probably the state championship, 300 hurdles my junior year.
Okay.
I lost to, I think his name is Rob Bates from Franklin Road Academy on the last hurdle in the 110s, and I was so mad that I wanted to, I wanted to sweep the day in terms of winning it. And so in the 300 hurdles, I just, I took off and had a really, really nice time. And so I would think that would probably be my fondest memory, my favorite memory of at Brainerd High School. But there's so many memories there that were created and to help me, to shape me to who I am today.
Your favorite environment you played or coached in? It could be high school. Let's do high school and college. Your favorite environment or the most challenging?
High school would probably be McMahon Central.
Okay.
They called us the Brainerd Rebels when we walked out. They announced us as the Brainerd Rebels, and we all know that used to be the mascot name. So I don't know how in 2001 that you forgot our name, but that was a crazy environment because when they announced the starting lines for us, that was the first time I felt like the Duke crazies. Like they had the shirts off and they had the newspapers, and every time they would say our name, like starting at guard, number 3, Tyrus, name, like suck, and they had the newspaper. So that environment was very, very hectic. But as an athlete, you like to play in those environments so you can hush the crowd, and it kind of it
fuel motivation.
So, and then as a player and as a coach now, probably, obviously Tennessee. That was amazing. The Kentucky crowd was amazing. Illinois was amazing. But being at Tennessee last year was definitely, kind of a bucket list from player to coach, like just kind of seeing Neely Stadium and growing up watching Peyton Manning on TV and, watching all those guys, play for Tennessee.
Year 32 of the Coca-Cola Red Zone. Right here on the Talk 102.3 gets started on Friday, August the 22nd. About 4 weeks, I believe, from this coming Friday. So make plans to join us 13 weeks during the fall. 32 years, your home of the best high school football coverage in the universe has been right here on Talk 102.3 and the Coca-Cola Red Zone.
Let me say this.
Yep.
You brought up the Coca-Cola Red Zone. And Kohl, I'm going to try not to blow up your dad's head anymore, okay?
Yeah, I got you.
But if you talk about the history of the Red Zone, your name, you can't have when you're throwing names out there, your name would be in that discussion of what the players we talked about and what made some of those seasons very special. So I don't know. I just want to say that there's only a few of those out there that we can remember and just great players throughout the years, but Mr. Ward would be one of them.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
So
for that,
give him a little more ammo when he's talking to you.
So played and coached on during the Red Zone our games of the week in the past too. So like you said, Joe, there's been very few locally that have done that. So it's definitely a cool thing for sure. So Kohl, obviously, we mentioned in the first segment, track and field, state champ with the triple jump there, and coming off a state tournament run in basketball. What do you think not the biggest challenge, but how do you kind of stay grounded, and how do you kind of balance those two sports in addition to being a student? Because I think you're carrying a 4.0 GPA, so that's impressive as well. So congrats on that.
Appreciate it. Just given the appropriate amount of time allotted for each sport, just putting in a good amount of work. My dad, I would say over the years, I wouldn't say much as when you're a kid, you just try to put him in everything, activities, work. But over the years, my dad has done a good job of just giving me the right amount of time of rest. Also with all the sports I'm doing and all the workouts and the work stuff like that. So just having a schedule, having a plan, having goals, all that is key when you're active all the time, when you're busy doing sports and stuff like that. So just having those things while I'm doing everything else.
So you mentioned obviously basketball was your number one while you're playing for the Rams. Well, was basketball your favorite sport growing up, or did you have another favorite sport that you played, or is hoops in it?
Yeah, it's always been basketball.
Favorite team, favorite player?
So college, my favorite team. I feel like my all-time favorite team always be like I'm a Miami Hurricane fan.
Okay.
But since I'm such a big basketball fan, I kind of switch the team I like in college like every year. The high school players that go to new colleges, I love the freshmen that go to new colleges, and this year I kept track of Duke. I really like Duke this year. I like Cooper Flagg. I like Conklin-Nipple. I like Sean James. I liked all of them. Duke was my team this year.
You're just a fan of the game, right?
Yeah, and then favorite player at college. Of course, Ace Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Growing up with him being from hometown, playing with him. My 8th grade year, he was playing AOT. I played with him, so I always kept track of him. Always tried to catch the games when it was on TV, and always
What about NBA?
Warriors by far.
Okay.
I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. That's always my favorite player.
Gotcha.
It's always been Warriors.
So like you said, you obviously played, school ball for the Rams. You ran track, but you're also playing travel ball things. What, for Athletes of Tomorrow, AOT?
Yes, sir.
Kind of talk about the process of that, because it's we've had student athletes over the past couple of years, whether they're playing baseball or softball. Talk about the basketball process there, because it's like you guys. I mean, you even mentioned you're traveling at least an hour or so just to go practice, even play these tournaments.
Yes, sir. It's a great program. A lot of great basketball players that's come out of it. You have Sharif Cooper, Isaac Okoro, Dylan Harper played with them, Brandon Boston, and most recently Ace Bailey. So, we drive to try to get them to Keatron High School every Tuesday and Thursdays, even during the school year, like April and May, those Tuesdays and Thursdays, try to drive there for practice. It's a great experience. It's a lot of great players in the program. Competition every day. It's always intense. It's always competitive. So just those that hour and a half, hour 45 minutes is always worth it. I'm saying? I'm always getting something out of it. It's a lot of great mentors, great coaches there. So it's always coming back home, thinking about what I've learned today. It's always something always something new, always something different, because those guys up there, they know a lot about ball. So it's always great, spending time with the guys. Some of the guys I'm playing with now may be big one day. I'm saying? I can always be like, I played with him back in high school. I played alongside him. So it's all great.
And you want to go up against the best, because this is going to make your game that much better as well too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I asked your dad this. You're going into your junior year. Favorite environment you played in? It could have been, something, whether it's a big win or the crowd was on top of you and just fueling you for victory. What was your favorite environment you played in during your sophomore year at Tyner?
My sophomore year, it's been so many greats. I have to give you two.
Okay, I love it.
The first one would probably be the Best of Preps championship against Bradley Central.
Okay.
It was packed, what I'm saying? I of course I was on the court, but I heard that it was a line like outside, and they had to cut off people from even coming into the game. It was that many people trying to see us play, and that means a lot, what I'm saying? Because I'm one of the players that's playing, and it's kind of like they're coming to see me and my teammates and other team playing. So that was a great environment, what I'm saying? We unfortunately lost, but it was fun, playing in front of that big of a crowd with my boys. And the second one, I would have to give you the state tournament, the first game. Really both, but the first game, that win just added so much. You see how much you really mean to the community, and then that shows you how much the community means to you, right? So we're an hour and 15 away from home, and you see all these fans coming to watch you play and take down the team. What I'm saying? That meant a lot, and it was a lot of Tyner fans, a lot of just really Chattanooga fans coming to watch you win. So that was a great environment too.
Yeah, special community for sure.
Well, I mean, I can't get this out of my head. The fact that you're so athletic that you won a state championship, and not even your favorite thing to do, not even your best sport.
Yeah,
and that irritates me a little bit.
That makes two of us.
But that just goes to show you what hard work and a little motivation can do for you if you're a young athlete out there.
Yes,
I mean, even if it's something that you enjoy doing it, but it's not my main thing.
Yeah,
but still go out there and compete at a high level.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and like we said too, I mean, a 4.0 student in the classroom, so he's taken the term student athlete to the next level for sure. So, a couple of things, when we're researching you and your dad for the show here, the Dr. Pepper Classic at McCallie, I think you guys were in that as well this year, and playing against guys like Eli Ellis, who's going to South Carolina, and everybody knows the story about Tyner and the new campus over there, and you guys sent the old gym out victorious.
Yes, sir.
I think that was the final game before going to Murfreesboro, right? So,
Yes, sir.
kind of, you mentioned that talking about adding your name to the legacy at Tyner for the state championship in track, but closing out the original gym, you guys and going to the state tournament. What did that mean to you as well?
It meant a lot. That was also a packed game. You know what I'm saying? It was. I don't think I really understand how big of a moment that is right now because I've been at Tyner for 2 years, but to all the alumni of Tyner, to all the the basketball players, even the students that went to Tyner, I know that's a sacred place. You know what I'm saying? That Tyner gym has been there for years way before me. So to go there that night and just in a win is that much better. And it was getting back to that state tournament. It was all great. You see all the people coming, cutting down the nets, the sub-state. It was a great experience, and I really enjoyed it.
We've had a few guests on during the summer, including Coach Maynard for the football team and a couple of his assistants. It started in the green room. I got to ask both of you guys, Jordan versus LeBron, who are we going with?
I'll let Kohl answer first.
I don't. Steph Curry.
Of course. The Warriors. Coach Ward.
Jordan. It's not even close.
They never throw Kobe in there.
Yeah.
They never throw Kobe in
Huge
there.
Laker fan across the glass here.
Yeah. I think Kobe will put up a better fight than no offense to LeBron, and I'm nowhere near as good as a player as he is, but just speaking the facts about the question, but Michael Jordan for sure. It's not even close.
And that question has, we've asked that question a couple of times, Joe. It's a you have to really think about that. People really get into that for sure. So,
well, if you ask some of the current NBA players, well, maybe not current, maybe some, but if you talk about the Tracy McGrady eras, those
Sure.
type of players, they're going to pick Kobe over LeBron. And maybe that's just that's an age thing or whatever.
But what era you grew up in?
That's
too,
true.
Yeah.
That is
era
true.
You grew up in what era you grew up watching ball. But yeah, that'd be my pick.
Well, I tell
There's
you,
not many killers out there anymore.
that's true.
Kobe and Jordan, one of the few.
Curry's pretty good though too. Generational talent.
Hey, he's all right.
You can't say that because you're a Laker guy, right?
Exactly, that's right.
Now, guys, can't thank you enough for making the time to come down here and join us. And
Appreciate it.
Had some good conversation, Joe, I think, for sure. And I think it's safe to say that some pretty good athletes in the Ward family, for sure. Huh?
Yeah, I would think so. That family has been blessed, no doubt about it. And, Coach, real quick, I mean, how many newbies you got on that defensive line?
We have at least 6 in my room. I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So probably a total, I think right at 10 maybe. I can't give you the exact number. But it's we don't rebuild, we reload.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. And the D line has been really good. It's been a staple here at UTC since I've been there and before I was there. So, it's up to us as coaches and those players to kind of keep that standard.
GoMox.com. Get season tickets for the 2025 Chattanooga Mox football season. A lot of good home games and, good matchups within a 2-3 hours drive of Chattanooga. So definitely a lot of opportunities to go out there and support Coach Ward and the Mox as well. And it won't be long before we're talking about Ram Train basketball coming up for your junior year, Cole. So what are you most looking forward to in your junior season? Just to continue to improve, or
what sport are you going to pick out to win a state title in this year?
Both.
Yeah, it's always the goal to have both. But that basketball state
Unfinished
championship,
business.
yeah,
Okay.
that's one I really want to get back. I mean, Murfreesboro's a place I really want to get back to, and not only just go up there, but try to win it. So yeah,
I know there's a team in town that talking a little trash. I'm not going to say who. I ain't saying who.
He could probably figure out who it is.
Probably so.
Oh, yeah.
The higher you are, the more they try and throw rocks at you, right?
That is a fact. That is a fact.
I mean, it happens. You get to the glass house, and they're trying to throw rocks right at you to break it, right? So that's definitely – hey, that's a good thing, though. It means you're having success for sure. So got about a minute left. Pre-post-game traditions or superstitions? It could be coaching side or for you too, Cole. Let's start with you.
Pre-post game. Before every game, this is unintentional. Away games, I always have my headphones on. I don't know why. I always have my headphones on. I'm always listening to music. But home games, I don't put them on. I just watch the games. I just sit there and watch. So it's
Okay.
I don't know if it's a superstition. It's just something I do. I guess it's the bus ride to the away games that just
Gotcha.
all that time I had to put my headphones on. So that's one thing.
Coach Ward, how about you, real quick?
Pregame is just zoning out, just thinking about it, writing. I like to write, so I like to kind of write the plan down.
Okay.
Kind of go back over in my head. Yep.